So today I'm doing the Flying Miata 1.8 swap kit install. The bracket was pretty simple. You just bolt it on with those little screws on the back, and then those two main bolts. But now I'm gonna do the throttle body or throttle plate install and see how that goes. You gotta drill and tap holes right here on the intake for those, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this going. These are the tools that'll be required to do all this. Oh my gosh. I also have used a 1/2 inch socket and a 8mm for the coils on that coil bracket. So first thing I'm gonna do is grab the bolt, stick it through, and I am gonna measure the stick out with my calipers, and then maybe go an extra 20 thou deeper of an inch just to be extra safe, and then I'm gonna go ahead and measure that. So I put the plate on, measured the plate, and measured the stick out of that bolt, and the stick out was 0.325 of an inch. The plate is 0.7, and so I got a 3/16 drill. I'm using a Cobalt with a 118 degree. So I'm gonna measure it. Go ahead and measure the 1 and 1.025. On the drill. And yeah, I'm gonna go 20 thou over, so 4, 6. Cool. So what I did was it's kind of hard to see because I did it in white, and I just drilled holes in some drywall the other day with this drill. There's a little white dot that I put on this drill, and then when I drill it in, it just kind of indicates where I'll be when drilling into there. I just use one of those markers to mark metal. And then the drill depth from the surface of the plate will be 1.025. Or I'm going to do 1.046 so I can just have extra clearance, and I'm going to put those in there. Well, I got the countersink on, hole depth correct. Now I got an M6 by 1 inch tap. Get some oil on there. You just want to go in as straight as possible. So after you tap these, drill these, and all of that, you make sure you get all the metal shavings out the back. This whole goes through into the intake, so there's gonna be some chip back here. But after you get that done, you're gonna go ahead and put this throttle body adapter on. It's optional on the instructions to fill in that hole right there with JB Weld, but don't know if the previous plates didn't have this lip on there, but this lip right here, when it's all lined up, actually covers that, and you don't have to worry about it. The only thing you're going to have to worry about is this hole you drill and tap, that it'll have a air. We'll be able to create a vacuum leak right through there if you don't put this silicone on the bolt itself when you put it in there. And I guess you're gonna make sure you clean this off real good. Put some silicone on here, put the M8 bolts in up top, the M6 in the bottom. Kind of lightly coated that. Now I'm gonna seal it to the plate. I'm gonna put the two M8 bolts in first, and then put in the M6. Now I'm going to put some RTV on here and stick that right through there. Once you do that, you're going to remove the M8 bolts. Alright, well, you take those M8 bolts out, throw the throttle body back on with the stock 1/6 gasket. You can use the bolts provided for the bottom hole. The top hole will not be able to use the stock M8 bolts from the 1/6 like the instructions say, but I'm going to go ahead and get a new bolt. I kind of extended the stud and had it softly tightened down right there, and got to move this one back out and then tighten it down again. And we'll line up everything on that harness. Now I'll be removing these two 10mm bolts, and I'm going to put the plate that came with the kit on. You just put the two 10s back. Now I'm going to do the EGR. So I used a 10mm to get those two bolts off. There's a little thin gasket on here as well. And then we're going to go ahead and take these two 12mm off. So once the EGR is off, you're going to put the walk-off plate right there. And those bolts that came out of the EGR, I think, are long enough to run for the top bolts on the throttle body. So I'm going to go ahead and swap those studs out. And here's the other side for the exhaust port for the EGR. And we use a 1/16 wrench, tighten it. Not sure how tight it's supposed to be, but tighten it pretty decently. So once I got the EGR setup done, I will cut the cast wiring harness or plug, and I'm going to extend this harness so it'll reach on the other side of the head.
Are you making a video?
So I set up the harness. They give you all these matching color cables, and then pretty much just gotta plug it into here, and it'll plug into the cast. And I use electrical tape just to cover the rest of these up, just in case, so they stay watertight or whatever. I don't know, just to be extra safe. Alright, I got that wired in. Just make sure those things aren't loose. Just give them a tiny tug, don't pull them too hard, and make sure they're properly connected. But I got that, the EGR block off, the EGR exhaust block off, the throttle body. And remember, EGR valve, when you put the block off plate, the old M8 bolts will fit into the top of the throttle body. So that's just some stuff I'm getting done with my little Miata project car. Gotta wire up some other stuff, and that's pretty much it for the Flying Miata kit. We'll have more videos on the rest of this whenever I get to it. Just gotta get the radiator put in, spark plug wires, 80 amp fuse, some gas, oil, coolant, and get her going.